Welcome to Proudly Out of Line. I'm Marty Moore, an old school dyke and the CEO of Boulder based Rocky Mountain Equality. With everything going on around us in this world right now, it's the perfect time for all of us to be engaged, informed, and hopefully have a little fun along the way. On with the show. Everyone, we are so lucky to be joined today by Joy Oladokun, who is going to be at the Boulder Theater on November 10th at 8 p.m. Joy, thanks for making time for us today. As the Boulder Theater started promoting you and your concert, I started getting all these random emails from people saying, "Do you know Joy's coming to town? Are you going?" And I said, "Actually, I'm going to talk to Joy," and that kind of quieted them down. Um, but I, as an old school dyke, was really disappointed and a little shocked in myself that I didn't know your music. So I'm so happy to promote you because all the people I know that I'm sharing this with are overjoyed, no pun intended. Um, but I am in, I'm a Brandy Carlisle, Indigo Girls. My mind was blown when I saw that you had toured with Lucinda Williams, who is my all-time favorite. Can you tell
Love
me, did you
Lucinda.
like talk to Lucinda Williams?
It was brief. We only had one night together, which is sometimes the nature of the beast, where like basically our tours cross paths. So we did a show together. And Lucinda is great and just like obviously an icon of Americana, like just sort of like I think for someone like me, Lucinda represents like being both female or femme-ish and badass, like, and
Yeah.
just no holds barred. And so it was a real gift to be able to do like sort of a mini co-headline with her. It was really great.
She's amazing, as are you, but, like, I've seen her so many times in concert. And when you're talking about, like, the bringing together of genders, I think of, Anne and Nancy of Heart. Like, when they grab a hold of that music, like, just go on with it. I mean, it is,
Yeah.
just amazing what it does to the heart and soul as you're listening as listening.
Yeah.
When you're talking
Yeah.
about, Lucinda being, like, Americana, how do you describe your music? Are you like, this is what the best we could do, and so correct me, like indie R&B with a bit of country? Like,
Sure.
who are you in your music?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I come from the school of singer-songwriters. So I think the easiest way to sort of categorize my music is singer-songwriter. Like,
Mhm.
yes, there are drums and guitars and all this extra stuff, but at the core of it, and part of the reason I'm doing an acoustic tour is to really sort of say, like, when these songs start, it's just me and my guitar and my feelings, and sort of strip things back to their essence, and then have that musical conversation from there. And so I think the easiest way I've always described my music is singer-songwriter, because also when it comes to the production, I'm such a fan of music. Like, I don't know, I think upstairs I probably have, like, upwards of, like, 1,000 records. Like, I listen to a lot of vinyl. I, like, in the mornings, I'll put on a YouTube DJ set and just, like, cook eggs and, like, have it in the background. I think for me, the palette which I, like, create music with comes from the music that I'm a fan of, and the reason I like to be a part of, like, conversations around folk and Americana is because, no tea, no shade, I feel like folk and Americana has become increasingly white and boring in a landscape that, uh, is anything but that. The world doesn't look like the Americana charts, and I I'm not gonna pontificate about what that says about society or consumption. I'm just gonna do my job as a creative to say, like, I'm gonna put Chris Stapleton on a record with my favorite rapper Maxo Cream, and I'm gonna have like local, like, I there's a song on Proof of Life that has the McCrary sisters. They're like this incredible like just singing group of sisters who they've sung with Bob Dylan and the Stones. Like they've done everything. um, to me, I want to rewrite, I want to extend the boundaries of what folk and Americana look like because I grew up listening like or watching the Paul Simon Graceland concert, or foaming at the mouth over Bob Marley's live, record, which is like, yes, it's reggae, but if you listen, there's soul, there's rock, there's, there's so much there. And I think for me, uh, the heart and the focus, I think the base of the pyramid is just singing and songwriting. Like I want it to sound okay vocally, and I want the lyrics to have meaning. And then everything else climbing up the genre ladder is just extra, you know.
Wow. Thank you for that very clear, thoughtful description of your work. So what I read about you was like you were in your bedroom during COVID. I was in my basement, but you were in your bedroom and you started
Same idea.
writing. And now you're in Nashville recording with Chris Stapleton. So how did all that happen so quickly?
Honestly, I actually think
Magic?
this is it. No, magic. I think this is actually important. I think it happened because of bravery on the part of people in artistry that would tend to ignore people who look like me and make music like me. I think ultimately I can say all day, like, I think I like my music. I think I'm talented. I think I do an okay job. I've been able to make a living. But Chris Stapleton had to say, like, had to say yes, and I've experienced a lot of people who are maybe outwardly embracing of different types of people who for whatever reason don't collaborate outside of their normal circles. And I think for me how it happened was people being willing to try something different because I as much as my story like gets linked to Tracy Chapman because I exist because I saw a video of her, like I'll never not say that. I owe her a lifetime of gratitude. Um, I think that my music is starting to sit in this like I don't know, Sly and the Family Stone, Otis Redding, like sort of like a music for the people by the people with a soul undercurrent and like yes there's acoustic guitars and country elements but really ultimately I want to make music for this moment in time that we're living in that like meets the urgency of it and with that and some people don't want to sing a song like I'd Miss the Birds that name checks the Proud Boys. Like some people are too scared to do that. I'm not. And I think for me, it's been about finding people who understand the vision and understand maybe the differences in the lives that we've lived and how the music can actually merge them together in creating a better kinder, more creative landscape, but also world. So that's how it happened to me is
Wow.
the people that maybe shouldn't, do a song with me said yes to doing a song with me. And it not changed my trajectory, but it accomplished what I've really wanted is like to create something that is hard to label, hard to define, but covers the span of American and honestly like Western music in a way that like I embrace all of its influences. Like hip hop is folk music to me. I think some of the best folk music we have right now is hip hop because everybody else is doing like canned Zoloft commercials. Like literally, folk music is so fucking boring right now. And I think that if you go back to Bob Dylan, making a song about a boxer who had been imprisoned. We don't have that type of intersection in culture anymore with folk music in the rest of the world. And I think for me, I feel really blessed that people see what I'm doing as a way to bring back some of that energy and urgency in like the yes, political, but even more like the spiritual essence of what it means to be an artist, like in every generation, I think.
Yeah. My eyes started filling up with tears as you're describing that because we don't have that anymore. And I find myself listening to older music that was made a few decades ago, because it does embody that. Thanks for having that. Do you? So I've only known a few artists, but they seem to have a different voice that is inside of them. And I've never known a songwriter, but in my mind, I tie it to a poet. Is there, like, do you just one day wake up, or like you're going to bed at night and you're like, oh my God, and jump up and start, writing lyrics down or something? There's what goes on in that beautiful body of yours that comes out with these amazing songs?
Yeah, it feels like it's songwriting to me is a constant. I think is sort of the easiest way to sum it up is like I'm a very structured creative, so this is sort of during my like lunch break, so to speak. Like at 9 a.m., I went up to the studio upstairs and I started like ruffling through some stuff and figuring out what I want to work on for the day. And after this, I'm gonna go back until like 5 p.m. And then at 5 p.m., the lights in the room shut off. They're on a timer, and I walk downstairs and I do something else. I go on a walk with a friend. I make dinner. I listen to more music, and um, I think in those moments in between, like if I'm at a show or at a play or at a movie or if I'm reading and a lyric sticks out to me or a melody comes to me, I'm I feel sort of shameless in a sense that I'll pull my phone out in the middle of a restaurant and like hum a melody into it just to do my to be a good steward of my gift of creativity and say, I want to remember this, and uh most most mornings, I keep a guitar by the bed, and my bedroom is like right next to the porch, so the door leads out to the porch. So I'll just like grab a guitar, go out to the porch with coffee, and just like sit and strum. And yeah, I think for me, songwriting is a part of my everyday, and I try to because now it's also a part of my job. Like I've been this way since I was young, but since it's my work now, I try to fit the I guess the completionist part of it, where you have to like demo a vocal or if you have to produce a song, like I try to leave that to a few hours a day and then live outside of that and not let it consume me.
Two questions. One, could I be your neighbor? Because I'd love to wake up with you strumming and drinking coffee next door. There's that. So let me know. But I want to go back to a comment you made about Chris and others being brave. But there's something about you that's really brave, that I feel, in the music, in your trajectory, or like, it's not trajectory, it's like in who you are. So, Nigerian American growing up in Arizona must have been just a bowl full of jelly, right?
Yeah.
Um, so, the bravery that it takes to exist in white society is its own thing. Um, then the bravery of, like, somebody had to call Chris Stapleton. Let's be clear. Like, those moments take bravery. I carry around in my pocket. When you come to visit, I want to show you a cool shop. There's this place called Rebecca's that you should visit when you're in Boulder, and I think I have it in my pocket, but I won't make noise on the microphone. But it's a little bottle of courage. It's like a
Mm,
roll on. So I
mm,
started carrying my little bottle of courage shortly after the last presidential election. And I don't want to get too political. We all know where we're at. And I appreciate
sure,
your
sure, sure.
music coming. I can't wait for what you're working on next to come out, to speak truth to power on how we're all feeling. But your bravery of, growing up in an evangelical church, um, and becoming one with who you are. And I don't know how, I identify as a lesbian. I don't know, kids these days,
Yeah,
everybody I meet's queer, so I have no idea. And I'll stop
same.
in a minute,
Yeah.
and you can either answer that part or not. But like, you're out. Like, well, I Google you and I know it. And so Chris
Yeah.
Stapleton knew it. Nashville knows it. And your parents know it. And the people that you went to church with know it. So could you talk about your bravery in that? Because one of the things, we serve lots of people, thousands of people each year. And right now, our doors, people are knocking on our door a lot. because of
Yeah.
what's going on in locally and also in the national movement. Can you talk
Mhm.
about your bravery and like coming out and your identity and marching through the streets of Nashville?
Yeah. Well, let's be clear. It's not like I'm out on Broadway. It's dancing under the light of Kid Rock's bar. I try to keep it pretty locked in.
Uh,
But yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm a lesbian. Like I'm queer. Like I also am. Uh, Not white, LOL. So that comes with its own set of challenges, as you can imagine.
doubly blessed.
I doubly blessed, full of blessings, a bowl full of jelly indeed.
That's right.
Yeah, I think for me, it's not about bravery. Can you imagine? Here's the thing. There are people who work in mega churches who spend all their time talking about the demon of homosexuality who are going to be so embarrassed when they meet God. If God exists, do you know what I mean? Can you
Yes.
imagine? uh, Can you imagine millions of people are about to lose food and you're bitching about Ellen DeGeneres into a mic? Like, be serious. Like,
Yeah.
go to hell where you came from. I don't think it was bravery to. It's like, do you really think God cares? Do you actually think God cares, or are you so um small that you can't believe that, like, you read a Bible where the first person to be baptized was a eunuch, and you're gonna tell me that gender nonconforming, that queer people can't enter the kingdom of heaven? You're just kind of an asshole. Sorry to
That's
curse
right.
so much, but I just like you're just a little dumb. Like you're not even. It's not genuine. It's not caring. It's not real. And the same thing for non-religious homophobes. I think in general, to be in Nashville and to make music, if you uh if you aren't gonna work with me because I'm a little gay and you're scared of what that's gonna do to your reputation or your bottom line, um, good. You know what I mean? Because that's so the opposite of what I'm trying to accomplish. And as you know, the uh, thinking of Little Joy, who never thought that I'd get to talk to some of these people, I think there was palpable disappointment to realize how many of my heroes are absolute cowards. But that doesn't uh that is their journey to deal with. I think we see it with like the New York mayoral election, like a city where literally Muslim people uh, were kicked out of America, now has a Muslim mayor who knocked on doors, who went to the night shift at an airport, who ran relentlessly on hope and the protection of marginalized people, of trans people, of black people, of like immigrant communities. Uh, you can win and widen the circle. You can win and care about other people. Um, so I've never thought of it as bravery. I've honestly thought of it as the opposite. I think it's really easy to do right by people. I think it's actually a lot of work to be a self-protective little snail.
I would agree with you. Thanks for
Yeah.
that clear message. And it
Yeah.
is, I was thinking about Michelle Obama this morning, and it's like when they go low, we go high. And
Yeah.
I continue to try to do that, but try to also figure out how to stay true to myself um, in doing that. So I hear what you're saying. I think it's a tape that runs in my head. So thank you for sharing that. We're
Oh,
almost out of time, and everybody who comes on Proudly Out of Line has to answer this question. Well, I
oh,
ask it.
okay.
You don't have to ask. You can do whatever you want, Joy.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
who's your queer icon? You can't say me.
Well, there goes my answer. Cut tape. We're done. Uh, queer icon. You know who I've been thinking about a lot is Sylvester. And I don't know why I feel like I'm gonna get emotional. I think that I think it's this. I think if you look at the charts and you look at the music that people who look like me are expected to make, and you look at what I make, you might notice some slight differences. And I think why I think my patron queer saint of the moment right now is Sylvester is because gospel dance vocal house like this icon of underground disco and movement and beauty. Not to say that Sylvester didn't have struggles, but I feel like to exist in a world knowing that someone like that was like, I am all these things and this is how they come out of me. It's kind of rare. Like I think at some point a lot of artists feel like they have to make concessions one way or another to sort of fit into a mold, and I've never felt that way about the work of Sylvester. Yeah, I think that's my queer icon of the month.
I love that. I'm going to play Sylvester later. Thank you for reminding me. I will be dancing. I do have a door, so nobody has to watch, but I will be dancing
It's
and
fine.
singing. And the last question is, besides your own music, what are you listening to right now? What did you throw on the record player this morning?
Oh, Watt Stack. It's a concert they did in LA with like the Staple Singers, Isaac Hayes, like a bunch of people. A long time ago, I got a live vinyl of that, and so I've been listening to that. I've been listening to John Prine live at the other
Oh my
end.
God, one of the biggest losses for me and during COVID. I love
Mm.
John Prine. I'm a country girl. I'm
Um,
wearing cowboy boots right now.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, John Prine to me is like yeah. I mean, the wit, the poetry, the emotion, and this record is it's like just him and a guitar at the other end. Like it's just stripped back acoustic, and I think it's been really inspirational for me to hear someone like there are stories, like I just hear someone be like, this is the music, this is what inspired it, and then just, rip it, I feel like that is there's so much that's produced, like I'm looking at my some of my records that are downstairs and there's like Wings and Tyler the Creator and there's D'Angelo obviously is on the deck and like there's so much that has so much, but the John Prine record has been really special to me lately because it really is just a dude and his guitar.
Oh, it is. And it's
Yeah,
storytelling. When you were describing how he does it, I was thinking about Lucinda in concert also. Like
yeah,
Drunken Angel, the story of that. It just like, I mean, it'll rip your heart out and gives you just so
mm,
many more layers of the
yeah.
songs, with the stories told. Joy, it has been a pleasure um, to be with you, and I look forward to, as many of us do in Boulder, to seeing you on November 10th at the Boulder Theater. Tickets are still on sale. Those of you listening, go to Boulder Theater, buy your tickets, and we'll see you there. Joy,
Yeah.
I hope you have a great day, and thanks for all you do for all of us.
You too. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Proudly Out of Line is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Equality, with help from your host, Marty Moore, executive producer, Amy Zuckerman, audio producer, Theo Conover. Until next time,